back when you were writing your autobiography, King of Rock, Respect, Responsibility in My Life with Run DMC, you discovered that you were adopted and that your mother surrendered you to foster care. And then you did a couple of specials on VH1, right? The first one was, I don't know the name of the first one.
My Adoption Journey.
That was in 2006, right? My Adoption Journey, right?
Yes. Well, I searched for my birth mother.
That's right. And what I found interesting was that had to be difficult but necessary for you, right?
Yes.
And thank you for being gracious enough to share your journey with the entire world. But you thanked your birth mother for putting you up for adoption, saying there would be no Run DMC if she didn't do that.
That's great. I wouldn't be sitting here with you. Maybe. I mean, that's on a maybe.
Yeah.
Or from a Hollywood standpoint, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. I would have never met Run. I would have never went to past schools. I would have never met Jay.
Right.
I would have never fucking wrote about Adidas.
Right.
I'd have look, my mother and father just gave me so much. That was that. Now, the crazy thing is, I was involved in a transaction I had no say in.
Yeah,
that's what people don't understand about the adoption foster care thing. We're just kids, and there's a lot of emotions. I mean, something happened to me mentally, physically, spiritually, to my whole well-being. I thought my whole beginning was in Hollis. No, I was born in Harlem Hospital. If they didn't decide to take me from Harlem and bring me to Hollis, who knows?
Yeah.
Hip hop would have happened, but it was like my destiny to be part of this trio that was going to represent this, I guess, the superhero shit.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother story, because that's all I cared about when I was little. Those were the only people I could relate to, not knowing that my story is like a Superman. Excuse me, Clark. We need to tell you something. You're not really from here, and you're not really ours.
Oh my goodness. Oh
my goodness. You know Riggs Morales, right?
Yeah.
You know my man Riggs. That's what made Riggs want to hang with me and support me with this comic. He said, you have to do this comic book, B. He said, you're on some real superhero shit. He said, most superheroes are adopted.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Batman, we all had a parental thing whopped.
Yeah, man. Tell me more about that graphic novel and the comic. Daryl making comics.
When I heard Big Bank's Grandmaster Caz rhyme, I could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm this little Catholic school kid growing up in Queens, New York. Straight A's. I wear glasses. I'm the kid that got to be in the house when a street light comes on. So, it's traumatic for me. The public school kids is taking my money. I got to run home from school, change out my uniform, and put my play clothes on so I could fit in. So I had the best family, but trying to survive and exist in this universe was traumatic for me. So I had to find my world of safety, protection, power, relevance, and all of that. And I found it in the comic books. So when hip hop came over the bridge from the Bronx, I was like, oh, shoot, you could tell stories about who you are. And my favorite comic books was Marvel comic books, because Stan Lee was brilliant. Rest in peace to Stan Lee.
Yes.
I love DC. I love The Flash. I love the Green Lantern. I love Batman, Justice League. But Gotham and Metropolis was fictional. Stan Lee really put the superheroes in New York.
Yeah.
So as a little kid, starting from kindergarten when I couldn't even read, all the way up to the 8th grade, every time I opened up a Marvel comic book, I learned about the place that I lived in, but couldn't experience it because I couldn't leave the block. Stan Lee taught me about Harlem. He taught me about the Lower East Side. He taught me about Hell's Kitchen, from Daredevil to Luke Cage and all of that. So now this thing called hip hop comes over the bridge, and I'm like, whoa, you could tell stories about who you are, because the thing that didn't excite me was until I started hearing the live tapes before recorded rap. In the live tapes before recorded rap, I was hearing, 15, 16, 17-year-old and 18-year-olds talk about their sneakers.
Right.
And going to McDonald's and the British Walkers and the and Adidas. And I was like, oh, so that gave me validation to talk about. Now, they talked about what they were seeing in the Bronx, but a lot of those things, we got Adidas here. Kids in Queens wear British Walkers and alpacos, and we go. There's loose joints, and I know what hard is and all of that. So when I sat down to write my rhymes, Stan Lee taught me something, because the only time I saw powerful, so-called nerdy, geeky, educated people was in the comic books. Peter Parker, who lived in Queens like me, was awkward. Batman, he had his little problems. All of these superheroes had these little problems that I could relate, a little awkwardness to them. They didn't fit in, but they were these badass superheroes. So Stan Lee, and I talk this when I speak at schools, taught me, define yourself with an adjective and tell the world who you are, Mr. McDaniels, before you get on that mic. Right. What do you mean? Well, if I say the incredible, you think of Hulk. If I say the amazing, you think of Spider-Man. If I say the invincible, you think of Iron Man. If I think of mighty, you think of Thor. So now, okay, in order for me to go on this mic, I'm no longer Easy D. Darryl McDaniels transforms into DMC, the devastating mic controller.
Yeah.
Thor, my whole son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Daryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me, because I realized, I said, okay, Thor is the son of Odin.
That's right.
Who lives in Asgard. He got a brother named Loki, and he got a hammer. So I said, I'm Daryl. That's in Thor's universe. In this universe, I'm Daryl.
Wow.
I live in Hollis. I got a brother there. So I just started talking about this. So comic books was a big influence.
What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. When opportunity knocking, then young nigga move that door. Whoa, get your foot stuck in it, call me young, go get it. Now you can't fuck with it, might as well roll with it.